Hey, it's Empress Rose, and welcome to our collective reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't, and not every card will be for everybody. And any interaction with the channel is fabulous and wonderful and helps a lot. All right, we're starting with Moonology. All right, well, two cards. First card, prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. So maybe starting a project. It's very promising. Things look good. The future looks great. A lot of work may still need to be put into something, but it's looking really good. Things look good. On the physical realm, it's an earth sign. So probably like literally a project where there's still work to be done, but it looks really good. Looks great. And there's all sorts of different types of prosperity. It's not necessarily money, although that does seem to be a pretty important one in our world. But it is, yeah, I could say it's money. All right. And then fiery climax approaches new moon in Aries. Okay. No, full moon in Aries. All right. Well, it never says exactly what kind of fiery climax approaches, if it's a good one or a bad one. Or where, what exactly is it? But prosperity lies ahead should be pretty exciting. That seems exciting. Yeah, something exciting, something culminating. And I think it's interesting too that we have Aries and Taurus, the first two in the zodiac. So it kind of feels maybe groundbreaking a little bit, and maybe not groundbreaking as far as global concerns, but groundbreaking in your life, groundbreaking for you, and I think I see that almost literally as breaking ground in something, some project that has a lot of potential, a very exciting first beginning. It almost seems like a ribbon cutting for something. Still work to be done, as usually happens with ribbon cuttings, but it's not necessarily like open for business, but all right. Those two together look really fun, actually. They look like a good time. Prosperity lies ahead and fiery climax. All right. When the ones you need fly close. These little bees, they're together. And it's not necessarily, well, yeah, it can be physical closeness. It is sort of, well, yeah, it is. It can be physical closeness. Actual closeness. It's so fascinating, this reading, because Taurus and Aries are right next to each other like this. So when the ones you need fly close, so you're not doing this solo, there's somebody else here. It's exciting, and it goes really well. And new moon and full moon. And then almost like reiterating that new moon and full moon energy we have in the middle of the bridge. So we have that yin yang energy, the opposites coming together, the opposites working together. This to me is a card about listening to, at least listening and giving them airtime to someone who is not you and not exactly like you and doesn't have exactly the same views as you. So it's listening, it's a accepting that this world needs both light and dark. Yeah, it's a strong listening, observing card. It's instead of like I don't think that way, what's wrong with you? It's like, well, tell me why you think that way, which is always an interesting question and leads down some really interesting roads. Hold on. I'm still a little sick, so we'll be taking some pauses to deal with those symptoms. But things are getting better. So in the middle of the bridge, we have this, yeah. And also sometimes it's like a physical bridge, but it's just a bridging the gap with listening and questions and understanding a little bit that it takes all sorts. And this can help you, encourage you. This card is meant to encourage you to listen, especially to someone you disagree with or you suspect you disagree with. Yeah, the last time I got this card for myself, I remembered it when I was having a conversation, starting to resist and be like, "Ooh, you are not like me. Oh, no, no, no." And then I was like, okay, So I just asked a few follow-up questions. It wasn't quite as scary as I thought it was going to be, and their opinion wasn't what I was jumping to conclusions that it was. So that's what this card always reminds me of now, is like not necessarily jumping to conclusions or thinking you know their thought process or something like that. So just learning to kind of cooperate and integrate other people into your life. It's interesting. It might be someone you're close to, that it might be a little surprising that they have a very different opinion than you do about something. Or it could be, you're with people that you're close, and then there's other people that you're not so close to, and it's important to listen to them. So a fiery climax approaches. That's just very interesting, especially within the middle of the bridge, and this listening card and understanding card, and meeting people halfway. Not necessarily ideologically, but maybe just at least listening, like, why do you think that? How did you come to think that? And then surfing rainbows on the moon. Imagine, big, big, big imagination card. Also always reminds me of the Northern Lights too. But what's your ideal? What do you want? And not even like, what's your ideal and you should know that and you should have that up, but like really explore more, like what would your wildest fantasy look like here? So it is a little bit of, the impossible. What's your impossible dream? What's their impossible dream? And I love it with this fiery climax approaches and the prosperity lies ahead. Those are both really great. All right, and then moving on to Tiger Breathing Bears Oracle deck under the shell. Ooh, this one jabbing me, stabbing me. All right, the one that fell out first, Heart. Oh, and interesting too. It almost looks like a roulette wheel, a risk. But there's also a sense of the yin and yang and the heart and the opposites coming together. And of course, when the ones you need fly close. And there's this the bee stripes too here. There's something about that black and white stripiness. And maybe that's like a literal thing you're going to see, is someone wearing black and white stripes. Or just that, the dark and the light of it all. And our hearts. This is such a fabulously anatomical heart. I love it. There's something so black and white, but how they combine and meet up is really beautiful. And maybe there's something too about loving someone that's really different from you. Okay, and then the stabbies. Enzo Banana. Enzo? Is that a race car driver? Banana? Shirt on fire. You guys, I didn't read these before. And I definitely have at least 2 stories about shirts on fire that I was wearing. One was set intentionally on fire. Went to a Halloween party as Joan of Arc, and the party was like 2 days long, and I let people burn the costume off of me. But the other one was totally unintentional, and someone had to point out to me that my shirt was in fact on fire. Anyway, so shirt on fire. This seems unsafe. If this is the fiery climax, this seems like the fiery climax, right? Maybe this is talking about some sort of literal fire. Like, that's amazing. It's this shirt on fire, and when we have the fiery climax too. That's really exciting and strange. And this deck has a card of this really strange thing I experience is also very strange to be like, shirt on fire. What? Well, you better take the shirt off. Okay, so that does sound like a very exciting fiery climax, is the shirt on fire. A covering up. some sort of covering, be revealing, but it's in this really dramatic way. I want to say some sort of cover, some sort of barrier, some sort of like expression of an intentional expression of self. So, our clothes, it's lovely when they express who we are and we feel at home in them. But there also can be a choice of what we express to the world, of how we want the world to see us. So when I'm entering a challenging day or something like that, I'll usually put on a blazer. I call them magic blazers because everybody just believes everything you say when you put on the magic blazer. You just have this authority for you. So, but it's like this removal of that display or that intention to make you think something. It's like that being removed in a very dramatic way. So the cover up in a way is being removed. Either the person has to remove it themselves because it's so uncomfortable, or nature's just going to remove it for them. High risk. And then we have this Enzo Banana. So what I'm thinking about the Enzo Banana, for one, it's reminding me of surfing rainbows on the moon, as far as just like, what? Anything can happen here. But I want to say, I feel like it's a fast ripening situation, which I think we have evidence of here with this prosperity lies ahead and this fiery climax approaching. A quickly ripening situation where things move very quickly. And it comes to fruition very quickly. I think that relates to the heart situation here. All right, let's get into the tarot. Starting off, and we're doing the Muse Tarot this time, starting off with the Fool. Of course we would start off with the Fool. I feel like we've started off with the Fool 3 times out of the last 4 readings. The Fool, a leap of faith, heading into a brand new future, something where you don't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen. It's hopeful. Everything's still moving, though. You're walking on shifting sands. You're taking a leap of faith. You're looking into a future that it's all very unstable feeling here. I feel like, you're on these shifting sands, and where you're taking the leap of faith to also looks like shifting sands. I also like, we just have these like star nurseries, this nebula right here with the star coming out of it. So there's a lot of hope there. But again, the star nebula, it's just a lot of shifting sands, and not just shifting sands, shifting elements. It's a very unstable, risky situation. Are you going to take a leap of faith here, even though everything just seems sort of changey and shifty? The whole situation feels like it's constantly changing and very shifty. And it's like, in the midst of all the shifting, where are you going? Where you're wanting to take a leap of faith, already have taken a leap of faith. You've moved forward in a totally new part of your life. Oh, I'm holding my deck funky. Past, present, inner landscape. What's at issue? Environment, to-do list, possible outcome. So in the recent past, we have 8 of materials. You've put a lot of work into something. She's juggling 8 different roses here. Roses are the materials here. It's the actualization of our dreams and intentions and all of that. So this is work. You've been working on like actual work. It's not, it's material. So it's not just your mind. It's not your heart. It's not your soul. It's like boom, reality, here we are. And it's just to me, it's always pretty much a basic work card. There can be other things that come out, but you've been putting in real 3D work on this. I guess 4D. You've been putting time, energy, effort, money. Yeah, and it could just be your workplace. Like maybe you started a new job at some point, or maybe you started a new business at some point, or something. It has to do with material sustenance and how you're maintaining your body, your material body, with food, shelter, clothing, right? The clothing here that's burning off. And then that's really funny too, because then we have this death card. It's definitely the death of this shirt. This covering is dying. So current situation, we have the death card. Transformation. You're changing your clothes. What is currently happening is no longer working, but it is what is it? The tomb is the womb. The chrysalis idea here of, yeah, the tomb is the womb. So it's got some nice, like, really fun, creepy vibes with spider webs and all of that, but something's shifting, something's changing form. Transition, transformation. So either your work is transforming, how you view your work, something about work, there's some sort of transformation here. And it's new, like something old has to go by the wayside. That's the essence of transformation, is the butterfly and the moth, and pretty much every transformation we've ever been through reminds us as it's reminding me of graduation, you know, like graduating high school, when you're moving on into this unknown, and you've been looking forward to this for so long, and this is what you've really wanted, is to, you know, move out, not have to go to high school anymore, not be legally required to be around these people, and like you've wanted this, and yet at the same time on graduation day there can be tears, there can be I miss yous, there can be all sorts of, you know, unexpected feelings about this thing that you've actually wanted for a long time, and it's changing and shifting, and it's this day you've wanted for a while, and you've been working towards this day. But once you get there, that release can feel a little uncomfortable, but you are moving into the life you wanted. You are moving into what you've wanted, but there can be some sorrow as you let go of the old you, the old familiar cocoon, the old familiar life that you've had. Even if you have been working towards it, even if it is a welcome transformation and a welcome rebirth, it's still, and sometimes those rebirths aren't always welcome, and they're not always something we work towards. But sitting next to the Eight of Materials, it looks like this is something you have been working towards. So your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, I think you want a vision. That's what this looks like to me, this surfing rainbows on the moon. We have the sun card, not the moon card, but there is this sense of like, give me a vision, right? Because here she's visioning this reality, she's going inside, she's getting a sense of it, and here it is up here. So because it shows up in your hopes and fears, I think you want a clear vision. I think you want clarity. You want happiness. I think wanting clarity is possibly one of the most basic needs and desires of all people that have ever lived here, is because everything can be very confusing. So there's a sense of like really seeing what you need, really feeling a strong motivation. We've got the solar plexus totally lit up here, and I think you want to feel that motivation, that drive, and the clarity, because I think that drive without clarity can be a little frightening. Like, oh, I'm driven, I don't know what to, like, how would you even do that? I think when we get that clarity, that's when the drive starts to like open up, and this creative drive to create the world we want. So it does seem like it's something that's not very present right now and doesn't feel very real to you. It does seem like it's something that you are desiring, that you want that clarity, that drive to come in, that happiness of a clear vision and a clear purpose. And in this situation, like it's like the situation's changing, but you don't know what to yet, and you're still wanting that information. You're still needing that information. You know that the situation has changed. You know that everything's moving around, but I think you can't yet see where to. And I think that that's going to be disconcerting with a death card. It's like, well, this is over. This is coming to a close, or this is changing, but I don't know what it's changing to. That's a little more frightening, I think, than when you know what you're changing to and you're like, oh yes, I know what house I'm moving into, versus like, well, I know I have to move from this one. Where I'm moving, I don't know. But once you know, it's great. It's fabulous. You're like, oh yeah, and then I can see where the furniture goes. I can see what I'm going to do. I can see my route to work. I can see this now. But until that happens, it's just sort of like, well, I know I can't do this anymore. I can't live here anymore. Where am I going to go? What's it going to look like? What's it going to be like? So that's probably a metaphor. Not everyone's moving right now, but probably a bit of a metaphor there. So what's an issue here is two of inspiration reverse. So this looks to me like, right, you have a vision, but you don't know how to get there. And this feels like you really don't know how to get there. Or maybe you don't have the vision. You don't. And that would be supported by the Sun card sitting next to it. Not really seeing, not being able to see. Your telescope isn't going that far. I think it's because there's a corner. So the telescope can go direct, can see directly in front of you, but if something's behind a corner, you can't see that. And I think we got that last week too. It's this veil and this like not being able to see something. So it's like you don't have a vision for the future. And that's what this card is about too, is that visioning for the future, visioning something. And maybe it's not even about the future. You just can't see something, and then you can't even see how to get there. It's interesting, you've been working towards something, that work is changing or the situation is changing. You don't know what to, you don't have a strong vision. This all seems very like ungrounding. You don't quite know how you're going to get to where you know you need to go to. It's like, I have a point A and I have a point B, and the path between them is invisible. It's not, well, I don't even know if you have you know that point A. I mean, there's two ways this is coming through. Like, do you have a point B? I'm not sure you've settled on a point B yet, because it's a little less disconcerting to be like, I have a point A, I have a point B. I don't know how to bridge the gap, but I can take one step at a time. But this is like, I've got a point A. I have B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7. And maybe some other things that aren't even labeled. And then I don't know how to get, there's just this like, not being able to see where this is going again here. We already got that with the Sun in your hopes and fears. So it's just kind of a reiteration of that. In your environment, there's somebody here with a bit of a vision though. Somebody, male or female, does have at least an intuitive sense of where you're going. This Queen of Inspiration can be an intuitive, someone working in those fields. It can also be an artist, and maybe it's this partner, maybe it's this, the ones you need flying close, someone coming in with some ideas, some inspired ideas. But the Queen of Inspiration usually just kind of is off in her own little world, not really trying to communicate, not trying to drum up followers, not trying to get anywhere or get anyone to follow them. They're just kind of like, yeah, I got ideas. So maybe this is someone who's low-key got ideas, but they're not really announcing them. It's almost coming in as a Knight of Wands, or not a Knight of Wands, a Knight of Pentacles, as someone who has like ideas, but they're not sharing them, right? She's just like inwardly focused, like getting the vision for herself. What's this person's vision? So there could be someone around you that is developing a vision for themselves, and it seems impossible. I think this is too why you're being invited to imagine impossible things. Because this person, there is someone that is imagining impossible things. And if you're not capable of imagining impossible things, with them, there's going to be a little bit of a mismatch. But maybe this one here is here to help you imagine the impossible things, and you need to go with them on that journey, because they have a way of inner knowing. So they have a way of inner knowing. They are dreaming of impossible things, and they might be able to teach you how to do that or show you how to do that, because you do have a big dream here that you've already maybe put some work in. And this person, I don't know if they can see the next step or if they actually know what your point B is, which point B, but they seem to be highly intuitive, capable of very independent thought. They're getting an intuitive hit, and I think it's just going to be important to be able to join them there or listen to them. Your to-do list is 10 of inspiration, which seems just about impossible here, because it's my don't worry about it card. Like, you've been carrying water. Look at these deserts here. And right, we had the shifting sands, that you were taking a leap of faith into new shifting sands from old shifting sands, this unstable leap of faith. But that's the way the story always begins, right? And then we have this one out here in the desert, and then here's this person, and maybe this person, you're not carrying water for this person anymore. This is my don't worry about it card. It comes through a little differently in the Muse deck right here. I mean, but it is the same desert, and I feel like the desert is hinting at this improbability and this impossibility of life and dreams coming true. This impossibility here, this total desert landscape. And it's interesting because we have the death card where something's very robustly, we have this robust, productive, highly productive garden, this oasis or this jungle. And then we have this death card, and then we have these desert cards coming after that. And then even with this last Wheel of Fortune, we're on the moon, we're in spreadsheet land. There's just this, the only card that really has a strong sense of life and vibrancy is this Eight of Materials, which is in our recent past. Now something's changed and we're in this desert landscape. Someone has a vision, an impossible vision. It's not you, it's somebody else. This 10 of inspiration is to try not to worry. Yeah, don't worry about it. What you've been carrying, you don't have to carry anymore. You're coming to the place. And maybe this is that other people are going to help you carry this burden. Other people are going to help you carry these worries. There is a sense, though, at 10 of inspiration that we are coming to the end of the place where we carry this stuff. We carry these emotions, we carry these fears, we carry even possibly some hopes. There's a sense of it's time to put that down, a burden down, an expectation down, somebody else's expectation for what you should be doing with your life. And it is with this death card. So there's a sense of maybe not having to worry about this work anymore. Maybe you've taken a leap of faith, you've taken a new route, and you've put a lot of work in, and now there's almost a sense of like something's changed here, and you don't need to carry that. You've come to the point where you carry that, you set this down. You set this down here. There's help. There's other people here helping to carry this. You don't need to carry it all on your own. And you don't need to be in service to somebody else's vision anymore, which is so much how like our work can feel like when we're working for other people, is we're carrying their vision, we're earning money for them, we're carrying their vision forward. So this is sort of like not moving someone else's vision forward. And it could be this person, this visionary. Are you not working with them anymore? Are you not pushing their vision anymore? Or is that part of releasing yourself from this other work? So where we end up, possible outcome is Wheel of Fortune. It seems like this trips something off. And there's like a series of events. This Rube Goldberg machine comes in, and then here we go, moving, new phase of life. The wheel of fortune turns. So I think that is actually why you're being asked to not worry so much right now, or not carry burdens right now. Don't worry, because the season is changing. Something is changing. Is it don't worry? Something's changing? I find that hard to believe. But then we're believing in the impossible right now. Is it possible that you could not worry about having moved from a lush garden into a desert? Is that possible? The Wheel of Fortune, though, is saying that something changes and something's shifting. And it's without your help. You're not pushing this wheel. You're not pulling this wheel. It's just the workings of the universe are at work, and wheels are moving, wheels are turning, much bigger than you, much bigger than me. It almost reminds me of sort of the cosmos and the planets and all the changes that happen there. And then this reminds me of the roulette wheel too, right? The shift of this roulette wheel and the risk involved. The risk is definitely here with these two cards, the Fool and the Heart. And then this sort of roulette wheel of like watching this chance, this game of chance happen. And the Wheel of Fortune is typically very lucky. It's typically a very good omen, but there are just things, huge things moving. And it's not, you're not to be too worried about it. You're just supposed to be envisioning your like beautiful, impossible future. And something shifts, something comes up, something changes, the wheel moves, the whole watch that we live inside of with all these planets and stuff, it's shifting and it's moving and it's changing the circumstances. It's a very hopeful card. All right, and then we're going to close this up with, I forget what these are called, animal spirit oracle, something like that. Okay, woo! All right. Oh, I love this one because it's so perfect. Bobcat spirit, life is a mystery. Hell yeah, life is such a mystery. And this like dreaming this impossible dream, this person with this other impossible dream, and this Wheel of Fortune. Yep, life's a mystery. How the hell did that happen? I don't know, but this is beautiful. And Lynx is my favorite cat, I think. Other than Jack, of course. But Bobcat spirit, life is a mystery. Oh, Bobcat. Okay. And Squirrel spirit, believe in yourself. You have stored up a lot of skills. You've saved up a lot. Believe in yourself. You can make it through these transitions. Have some faith in yourself. You're going to figure out where you're going, and you're going to have the ability to get there. If something's coming in where it's going to clarify what your next steps are. That almost is what this seems like, is like, don't worry about the next steps, because something's happening where that's going to become clear, that's going to be gifted to you. And you have a lot of skills. Believe in yourself. You can handle this. You can do this. And you have what it takes, and you have acquired already what it takes to move forward. All right. Hope that was helpful. Thank you for joining me. See you guys next time. Bye.